Hello and welcome to the Best Today podcast. I am your host, Shantae Grant, and today I got something for you, so let's get straight into it. I was thinking about all of the questions that I have received over the years, questions that I receive in real time when I'm either teaching or explaining something, questions that have been submitted to us, and a common thread that I've noticed is that whenever I'm introducing to someone a new method or something that I teach or our principles that we teach here at Best Today, and I get certain questions, it seems as though people are looking for a way to poke holes or looking for complications or reasons why something won't work. Oh, that sounds great, but what about this? And well, what do you do about this? Or isn't it true that this is that? Yeah, what about that? And I know that there are a number of reasons why that happens. One is curiosity, and curiosity is fantastic. But there are three other things that I think are happening there, among others, but three primary things. The first is that you're hearing something that feels hard, and you want me to explain away the work. You want me to explain away the effort or the parts that feel challenging or uncomfortable. And I talk about the importance of embracing discomfort in episode 84. So tap back 3 episodes if you haven't listened to that episode. I'll link to it in the show notes as well at besttoday.co/87. But that's the first thing. You're trying to help me remove the things that you feel are going to be hard in this process, that they're going to be hard because you actually have to think about something differently, do something differently, those type of things. The second is fear, which really associates with the first one, right? A fear of success. What if I do this thing and it works? And I actually get to live a life of peace, of intention. That is a real and honest and legitimate fear that I understand many of you have. A fear of what if it all goes right? And first of all, just sit with that for a second. How did that feel? But there's that fear. There's the fear of getting what you want, the fear of not getting what you want, the fear of not getting something right the first time or not getting it right early on. And that is perfectionism, which is also rooted in fear. I believe perfectionism really is a fear of judgment if something isn't perceived the way you think onlookers expect something to look. I honestly don't think perfectionism has anything to do with our own personal preferences outside of the preference to be perceived a certain way. And if you think about that, if you really just think about what I just said, which isn't even the topic of this episode is I have one question that can change the way you do everything. I haven't said that yet. I'm going to tell you a question that can overcome all of this. But wait, first, let's talk about why this question is going to be so great for you. Perfectionism, right? You're concerned, okay, I really want to do this thing that I know is going to help me in my life, but I don't think I can get it right the first time. I want to get the Best Today guide, but I don't think I'm going to write the right words. I want to get the Best Today guide, but I don't think, I want to get right in our routine, but I think routines are so hard. And what if it doesn't work out for me? Or what about this unique thing about my life? I promise you, as unique as you may think you are not the only person on the planet walking through what you are walking through. And for me, that's comforting. And I don't know what that does for you, but you are unique. You're fantastic. You're fearfully, you're wonderfully made, but you are not so unique in that what you are walking through, the challenges you have, the things with your time, you're not the only human walking through it. In fact, there are a lot of us, which is why I created the Best Today community. But what I want you to understand is that fear of not getting things right, that fear that's based and rooted in perfectionism, if you really think about that, it's about how you're being perceived. And if you can just listen to hear how loud your ego is screaming there, you can really do something about that. That's just a little self-awareness tip, right? Number 3 is there's also feelings of unworthiness. Like, I don't deserve this good thing for my life or for myself. And I find that at the root of those questions, when you're trying to poke holes, when I offer you something and say, let me show you how simple it is to optimize your time. Here's an easy here's a sustainable way to change the way you're thinking so that you can optimize your time. You can be proactive. You can be intentional. You can be self-aware. You can be self-loving. And now that effort, what happens is I think people start to poke holes or say why it won't work for them because it feels hard. It's uncomfortable. There's a fear of what if I get it right? A fear of what if I get it wrong? A fear of what if it doesn't look the way I want it to be? This feeling of unworthiness. And those 3 things are at the root of that. And so I was laying in bed this morning. This episode was written in about 3 to 4 minutes after I woke up this morning because it came to me while I was still horizontal and I had to type it out, which is why I'll be quick and short. But so powerful. I was laying in bed this morning thinking about these questions that I get that try to poke holes and tell me why what I know works, because not only have I seen it work in my life, but I've seen it work in the lives of humans all across the world, different ages, stages of life, races, belief systems, all the things, all the different people. The thing that united the people who I've seen it work for is that they believed they were worth the effort and they took the chance. They trusted the process and they watched the process work. They made it work for them. And I was thinking about that. And this one question came to me that I believe will free you from everything that I just talked about. Everything I just mentioned before here, that not wanting to avoid the uncomfortable, the challenging, I already said uncomfortable, the fear, the feelings of unworthiness. I have a question that I want you to ask yourself. And if you can ask yourself this sincerely and mean it, when you ask yourself this, I think you are going to find that it's going to be the thing that helps you to overcome all of the things I just talked about. Okay. Are you ready for the question that I think will change the way that you do everything? Here goes. What would I do if I wanted it to work out? What would I do if I wanted it to work out? What would you do if you actually wanted it to work out? If you really wanted it to work out, and it can be so many things. You would get the information you needed. Maybe you would trust the process. You'd be okay if the beginning was in shambles and it didn't look the way you wanted to. Maybe it didn't even feel the way you wanted to initially, but you keep going because you wanted it to work out. At Best Today, we exist to help women just like you be your best one today at a time. So each week on the podcast, we are going to highlight your stories and your voices. So let's see what's in the inbox today.
Hey, it's Audrey, and I just want to say how much I love the Best Today community. We just finished a book club there, and Shantae picked the most thoughtful and intentional book that really matches the Best Today principles. Everyone on there is so encouraging and supportive, including Shantae. She really makes herself a member of the community. She personally celebrates with you and personally answers all of your questions. If you're on the fence about joining and you want to take your life of intentionality and proactivity to the next level, please consider joining the Best Today community. Thank you, Shantae, for all of the amazing products. They really work together, but the community really takes it over the top.
Audrey, thank you so much for sharing that. And you are right. The Best Today community really is the thing that I don't even have the words. It's the thing that you didn't know you needed until you're in there and you're like, oh, environment really matters. Who I surround myself with matters. Having a safe place to come and ask questions or share an experience, to talk out either the products I'm using or the things I'm thinking, to have a place that really is focused on helping me to get clear on who I am, what I want, honor that. It is a place to have co-work, a place to have book club calls, a place that come together and talk about our focus for the month, what's working, what's not working. All of that and so much more is so richly within the Best Today community. So if you are not a member of the community, today's the day to go to besttodaycommunity.com. You'll get inside, you'll download our app, you can access the community 24/7, and you have access to replays of workshops that I've taught in the past, exclusive content, the Best Today curriculum, which is housed there. There is just so much richness waiting for you in the Best Today community. And the best news is the first 3 days are absolutely free. So if you want to come in and just get a feel, look around, introduce yourself. Also, every order of the Best Today guide or the Best Today starter bundle comes with your Best Today, the first month in the Best Today community for free. So join us, join Audrey, and the hundreds of other women from across the globe who have chosen to come together and be surrounded with community at the Best Today community. Again, you can go to besttodaycommunity.com to join right now. You would throw out perfectionism and procrastination because you wanted it to work out. You would do something about it with what you have, and you wouldn't care what other people thought because you were doing this for you and not for them. What would you do if you wanted it to work out? And your it can be anything. That's why the question, I believe, works so well for everyone in just about every situation and circumstance. And let me be clear, in this instance, I'm talking about the things that you know you want. you want for you in your life. I'm not talking about a relationship to the point of making something that's not working and unhealthy work. So let me be clear about that. Don't do that. Because sometimes you can want those things to work out, but it's another person involved. And so that only half of the equation isn't going to equate, right? So I want to be very clear. Think about the things that you say you want to be healthy, to be intentional with your time, to make healthy decisions, to prioritize your mental, emotional, physical well-being, to be financially responsible. Insert any other thing that matters to you. What would you do if you wanted it to work out? Because I know for a fact there is something that you want that you are not doing what you would do if you really wanted it to work out, because that required some effort. It required some discomfort. It required sacrifice. And I put all that under the bundle of effort. If you wanted to live a life of intentional, what would you do if you really wanted it to work? You're already doing one of those things by listening to this podcast. But here is what I also know to be true. Information is not enough. Information does not change behavior. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that just amazing? When I realized that, I was like, you know what? Information doesn't change people's mind, or it doesn't change people's behavior. Here's an example of how we know this to be true, because people are still buying cigarettes. They're still smoking cigarettes, despite the information about what it's going to do to their bodies and their health. So information isn't enough to change our behavior. So listening to this podcast, listening to any of my programs, online programs, anything that I teach or anyone else, that information falls on dead ground. The second it goes from my mouth to your ear, it's gone unless you do something with it, right? What would you do if you wanted it to work out? You would put in the effort that it takes. You would do the work of figuring out what you need to unlearn that's preventing you from doing what's best for you in your life. I think these 11 words, what would I do if I wanted it to work out? When you ask that of yourself and you mean it, it could become the start of something really great for you. And I'm really excited for the person who's listening right now and takes this one little question and use it to change your life for the better. I'm going to leave you with that, to think about what are your it's that this applies to right now in your life. What would I do if I wanted it to work out? How would I behave? What would I do? What would I think? What would I feel? What would I unlearn? What would I give my energy, effort, time to if I wanted it to work out? I would love to talk to you more about this over in the Best Today community. You can join and download our app for free by going to besttodaycommunity.com. Your first 3 days are free. So come on over and let's talk about this one, because I think it's really, really powerful. I don't want you to miss it. I don't want you to say, oh, that's too simple. I want you to go back and listen again. That's why I wanted to keep this short. What would I do if I wanted it to work? I want that to become a common question you start asking yourselves more. I'm really excited about what it's going to unlock for you and your life. So come talk to me about it over in the Best Today community at besttodaycommunity.com. Thank you for being present with me for this week's episode of the Best Today podcast. Until next time, remember that you are capable and worthy of being your best one today at a time. And you have everything you need to have everything you want. So go on and shout it out as you live it out. This is what my best today looks like. I'll talk to you on the next episode. If you enjoyed this week's episode of the Best Today podcast, you are going to love the Best Today guide. Our Better Than a Planner guide teaches you how to get clear on what you want, identify your self-destructive habits and behaviors, and intentionally create space to prioritize yourself every single day. Don't go the journey to being your best one today at a time without the Best Today guide. See inside its pages and order yours today at besttodayguide.com. Even better, when you order the Best Today guide, we gift you with your first month free inside of the Best Today membership. So what are you waiting for? We're giving you everything you need to trade busy for intention. Go to besttodayguide.com and order yours today and join thousands of women across the globe proclaiming each day, this is what my best today looks like.